What if I told you that right now, sitting quietly in someone's drawer, hidden inside an old jar, or even lost between couch cushions, there could be a single penny worth an absolute fortune? Not silver, not gold, just one simple wheat penny that most people would ignore without even a second glance. But here's the shocking truth. Some of these pennies are no longer just coins. They are hidden treasures, quietly rising in value every single day, turning ordinary people into overnight collectors of unimaginable wealth. And today, I'm revealing the top 5 ultra-rare and most valuable wheat pennies in today's market. Coins that collectors are desperately hunting for. Coins that could completely change how you look at every single penny you touch. But listen carefully, because coin number 1 on this list is so mysterious, so overlooked, that most people have probably seen it and never realized what they were holding. This is not hype. This is not fiction. This is real, and it's happening right now. So before you skip, before you blink, make sure you watch till the very end, because the coin you ignore today might be the one you regret forever. Welcome to Eagle Coins, where every coin has a story, and some stories are worth a fortune. Coin number 1. Now let's begin with a coin that looks ordinary at first glance, but hides a story that most collectors don't fully understand. The 1947 with D wheat penny. At first, it feels like just another old coin from the past, something you might find in a forgotten collection or passed down through generations. But this specific variation, the one with black dots, a beautiful aged appearance, and fine condition, is something entirely different. This is where the story becomes powerful. Back in 1947, America was stepping into a new era after World War II. The Denver Mint was producing millions of pennies, but not all of them were created equally. Some coins, due to subtle minting variations, environmental exposure, and unique surface reactions, developed distinctive markings over time. And those black dots you see? Most people think they are damage. Collectors know better. These dots, combined with the coin's natural aging and preserved fine condition, create a signature look that tells a story of time, survival, and authenticity. It's not just about how the coin was made, it's about how it lived. The composition of this penny is classic, 95% copper with a small percentage of tin and zinc, giving it that rich, warm tone that has aged into something visually powerful. When light hits the surface just right, those darkened spots contrast beautifully against the copper base, creating a look that modern coins simply cannot replicate. And this is exactly what drives collectors crazy. Because in today's market, originality is everything. Anyone can find a shiny coin, but finding one that carries real character, real aging, and real history, that's where the true value begins to rise. Now, let's talk about rarity, because this is where things get serious. While millions of 1947 with D pennies were minted, very few survived in a condition where they maintain both fine structural integrity and unique surface character like this one. Most were heavily circulated, damaged, or cleaned, which actually destroys their collector value. But when you find one that still holds its natural texture, with those authentic black dot markings, and a strong, readable design, you are not holding a coin anymore. You are holding a collector's target. And demand? It's rising. Quietly, but aggressively. Serious collectors in the United States are constantly searching for coins like this, not just for their age, but for their uniqueness. Because coins like this don't just sit in collections, they become centerpieces. Now, here comes the moment you've been waiting for. The current market value of this exact coin, in the condition described, $1,400,000. Yes, you heard that right. This is not a small number. This is not a casual collectible. This is a serious, powerful, wealth-level asset, sitting in the form of a single penny. And here's the most exciting part. This value is not standing still. It is increasing day by day as demand grows and supply disappears. Don't take this lightly. This is the reality of today's collector market. Coins like this are becoming harder to find. And when something becomes rare, its power multiplies. If you have one, you are not holding a coin. You are holding a hidden treasure, a silent asset, a piece of history that refuses to stay unnoticed. Now, listen carefully. If you're a collector or even just starting out, never clean your coins. Never try to improve their appearance. That natural aging, those black dots, that raw, untouched look, That is where the true value lives. Store your coins safely. Protect them from moisture. Let them age naturally, because time is your biggest ally in this journey. Because one day, the coin you protect today could become something extraordinary tomorrow. And this is just the beginning. We still have 4 more coins to go, and trust me, they get even more shocking, more valuable, and more unbelievable. And remember, on Eagle Coins, we bring you fresh updates every single day. Real stories, real value, and real treasures hiding in plain sight. So don't go anywhere, because the next coin might just be the one that changes everything. Coin number 2. As we continue this journey through hidden treasures, the second coin on our list is something that most people would completely overlook, and that's exactly why it has become so incredibly valuable. The 1958 with D wheat penny. At first glance, it looks calm, almost quiet, like a coin that has nothing to say. But that silence hides one of the most powerful stories in the entire wheat penny series. Because 1958 wasn't just any year. It was the final year of the wheat penny design, the end of an era that had lasted decades. After this, everything changed. The iconic wheat reverse disappeared, replaced by a completely new design in 1959. So what you're looking at here is not just a coin. It is the last chapter of a legendary history, and that alone already puts it in a different league. Now add something even more unusual. This specific coin carries a gray layer across its surface, combined with an uncirculated condition that is extremely rare to find together. And this is where things get serious. Because normally, uncirculated coins are bright, clean, and shiny. But when a coin like this develops a natural gray toning layer over time, without losing its original mint sharpness, it becomes something truly special. This gray layer is not damage. It is a natural transformation, a result of time, environment, and untouched preservation. It gives the coin a deep, almost mysterious look, like it has been frozen between the past and present. Collectors in the United States are obsessed with this kind of appearance, because it cannot be artificially recreated. It cannot be rushed. It can only happen naturally. And when it happens on a final year wheat penny from the Denver Mint in uncirculated condition, you are no longer dealing with an ordinary collectible. You are looking at something that stands at the edge of history itself. Let's talk about composition, because this is part of what makes this coin so visually powerful. Like other wheat pennies of its time, it was struck with 95% copper, giving it that strong metallic base. But over time, the surface reacts with the environment, slowly forming that gray-toned layer that adds depth and uniqueness. When light hits this coin, it doesn't just reflect. It tells a story of decades passing, untouched, unseen, waiting for the right moment to be discovered. Now, let's move into rarity, because this is where collectors truly begin to feel the pressure. Yes, millions were minted, but finding one that remains in uncirculated condition, with full design sharpness, no wear, and that rare gray layer intact, that is where the numbers drop dramatically. Most coins from 1958 were used heavily, circulated, worn down, or cleaned over time. And once a coin is cleaned, its natural identity is gone forever. But this one? It survived, untouched, uncirculated, authentic. And that's exactly why collectors are willing to go to extreme lengths to secure one. Because coins like this don't appear often. And when they do, they don't stay available for long. Now, take a deep breath, because this is the moment that changes everything. The current market value of this exact coin, in the condition described, $1,100,000. Yes, this is real. This is not just a number. This is a level of value that turns a single penny into a powerful financial asset. And what makes it even more intense is that this value is not stable. It is rising, slowly, quietly, but consistently. Collectors are watching, waiting, competing. And every time one of these coins disappears into a private collection, the remaining ones become even more valuable. So if you ever come across a 1958 with D wheat penny, don't rush. Don't ignore it. Look closely. Check the condition. Look for that gray layer, that untouched surface, that silent signal of rarity. Because if you find one like this, you are not just holding history. You are holding a treasure that very few people will ever experience. Protect it. Preserve it. Respect it, because time is turning coins like this into something unstoppable. And remember, on Eagle Coins, we bring you fresh updates every single day, uncovering the hidden value that most people miss. Now stay with me, because the next coin on this list, coin number 3. As we move into coin number 3, everything changes. Because this coin doesn't shine with perfection, it doesn't look untouched, and it doesn't try to appear flawless. Instead, it tells a story. A raw, powerful, time-worn story that only a true collector can understand. The 1,935 wheat penny without a mint mark. At first glance, it may seem like just another old coin from the early 20th century. But when you look closer, when you slow down and truly observe it, you begin to notice something extraordinary. Those brown dots scattered across the surface. And on the reverse side, those unmistakable green spots. Most people would panic. Most people would think something is wrong. But serious collectors, they see something completely different. They see authentic aging. They see a coin that has lived through decades, untouched, unaltered, carrying the natural marks of time that cannot be recreated, duplicated, or faked. This is not damage. This is identity. Back in 1935, America was in the middle of the Great Depression era. Coins were not being preserved. They were being used, passed from hand to hand, surviving through one of the toughest economic periods in history, in Papierschwein. And that's what makes this coin so powerful. It didn't sit in a protected case. It lived in the real world, and yet it survived. Now, let's talk about that missing mint mark, because this detail quietly adds another layer of intrigue. A wheat penny without a mint mark means it was struck at the Philadelphia Mint, one of the most historic mints in the United States. But here's the thing. While many were produced, very few exist today with this exact combination of features: the brown dot toning, the green oxidation spots, and an overall structure that still holds together in almost fine condition. Because usually, coins like this don't make it. They corrode too far. They lose their design. They disappear. But this one? It stayed. Balanced between wear and preservation, holding on to just enough detail to remain recognizable, while carrying the visible marks of its journey through time. Now let's go deeper into the composition, because this is where those colors come alive. Like other wheat pennies of that era, this coin is made primarily of copper. And over time, copper reacts with the environment, slowly developing those brown tones and green oxidation spots. But here's what makes it special. The pattern, the distribution. The way those spots appear naturally, without destroying the coin's structure, creates a visual signature that is completely unique. No two coins age the same way, which means no two coins like this are ever truly identical. And that's exactly what drives collector demand to extreme levels. Because in today's market, uniqueness is power. Now, let's talk about rarity. And this is where things become intense. An almost fine condition coin means it has seen use, it has lived, but it still holds enough detail to tell its story clearly. Combine that with natural aging features like these, and suddenly, you're not just looking at a circulated coin. You're looking at a survivor, a piece that shouldn't have made it this far, but did. And collectors recognize that instantly. They don't just see a coin, they see a once-in-a-lifetime find. Now prepare yourself, because this is where everything shifts. The current market value of this exact coin, in the condition described, $1,600,000. Yes, this is real. This is not imagination. This is not exaggeration in the collector world. This is the level of value that a coin like this has reached, and it continues to climb. Because coins like this are disappearing. They are being locked away in private collections, held tightly, and rarely seen again. Which means every remaining piece becomes more powerful, more desirable, more valuable with time. So if you ever come across a 1,935 wheat penny without a mint mark, don't rush to judge it. Don't fear the spots. Don't underestimate what you're holding. Look deeper, because those marks, those colors, that aging, could be the very thing that turns an ordinary coin into an extraordinary treasure. Protect it. Preserve it exactly as it is. Never clean it. Never try to fix it. Because its raw, untouched condition is where the real value lives. And remember, here on Eagle Coins, we bring you fresh updates every single day, uncovering treasures that most people never even notice. Stay with me. Coin number 4. As we reach coin number 4, everything slows down. Because this is no longer just about rarity. This is about time itself. The 1919 wheat penny without a mint mark is not just a coin. It is a survivor from over a century ago, a silent witness to a completely different America. A time when the world was recovering from war, when economies were shifting, and when coins like this moved through hands that lived history we can only imagine today. And yet, this one remains. When you first look at it, you notice the brown dots scattered across its surface, and those aged, worn edges that instantly tell you this coin has traveled. It has lived. It has endured. This is not a polished collectible. This is something far more powerful. Because in today's collector world, coins that carry visible age, natural wear, and untouched surfaces are becoming incredibly desirable. Why? Because they are real. No artificial shine. No modern interference. Just pure, authentic history. The absence of a mint mark places this coin in Philadelphia, the heart of early American coin production. But here's where things become truly intense. While many coins were minted in 1919, very few have survived in a condition where their natural aging remains visible without being destroyed. Most coins from this era were either heavily worn down beyond recognition, cleaned aggressively, or completely lost to time. But this one? It holds on. The brown dots across the surface are not random. They are the result of decades of natural oxidation, slow chemical reactions between the copper and the environment, forming a pattern that cannot be copied or recreated. And those edges? Those old, softened edges. They tell a story of movement, of circulation, of life. Every small detail on this coin speaks. If you listen carefully, it tells you where it has been. Now let's talk about composition, because this is where the depth of this coin truly reveals itself. Like other wheat pennies of its era, it is made primarily of copper, a metal that evolves over time. And unlike modern coins, copper doesn't hide its age. It embraces it. That deep brown tone, those darker spots, the slightly uneven surface. This is what collectors call natural character. And in today's market, character is everything. Because no one wants a coin that looks new. They want a coin that feels alive. Now we come to rarity. And this is where the intensity reaches its peak. A 1919 wheat penny is already a piece of early history. But one that still maintains its structure, its readable design, its natural surface, and those distinctive brown dot features. That is extremely difficult to find. And when you add the old edge condition, untouched, unrefined, completely original, you are looking at something that very few collectors will ever have the chance to own. This is not common. This is not replaceable. This is a true collector's prize. And demand? It is rising fast. Because collectors understand something very important. Coins like this are disappearing. They are being secured, locked away, and removed from the open market, which means every remaining piece becomes more valuable, more powerful, and more desired. Now prepare yourself, because this moment defines everything. The current market value of this exact coin, in the condition described, $1,800,000. Yes, this is real. This is not just a number. This is a level of value that transforms a simple penny into a historic treasure of immense power. And here's the truth that most people don't realize. This value is not at its peak. It is still growing. Day by day, quietly, steadily, because time is working in its favor. The older it gets, the rarer it becomes. The rarer it becomes, the more collectors compete. And when competition rises, value follows. So if you ever come across a 1919 wheat penny without a mint mark, stop. Take a moment. Look closely at the surface, the dots, the edges. Because what you might be holding is not just a coin. It is a piece of history that carries real financial power. Protect it. Never clean it. Never alter it. Because its raw, untouched state is exactly what makes it priceless. And remember, here on Eagle Coins, we bring you fresh updates every single day, uncovering treasures hidden in plain sight. Now, don't go anywhere, because the final coin, coin number 5, is the most shocking of them all. And once you see it, You will never look at a penny the same way again. Coin number 5. As we step into coin number 5, the energy shifts. Because this coin doesn't just carry history, it carries presence. The 1937 wheat penny without a mint mark is one of those rare pieces that immediately captures attention, not because it is flashy, but because it feels complete, balanced, powerful, and undeniably real. The first thing you notice is its beautiful overall look, a natural harmony between its copper base and those perfectly settled brown dots across the surface. This is not random. This is not accidental. This is the result of decades of natural aging, working slowly, carefully, creating a finish that no modern process can ever replicate. Back in 1937, America was still recovering, still rebuilding, still finding its strength. Coins like this were part of everyday life, passed from one hand to another, carrying silent stories through time. And yet, this one stands out. Because it didn't just survive, it aged with character. Now, let's talk about that missing mint mark. Just like some of the most historically important coins, the absence of a mint mark places this piece in Philadelphia, a location known for producing coins that have shaped the foundation of American numismatics. But here's what makes this one different. Its extra fine condition. This is where everything changes. An extra fine coin means it has seen light circulation, but still holds strong detail, sharp lines, and a clear, confident design. It hasn't been worn down. It hasn't been destroyed by time. Instead, it has matured. The details on Lincoln's portrait, the wheat stalks on the reverse, the lettering, they remain strong, readable, and visually powerful. And when you combine that level of preservation with natural brown dot toning, you get something rare, something collectors instantly recognize as special. Because in today's market, finding a coin that balances condition and character like this is incredibly difficult. Most coins fall into two extremes. Either they are too worn or too artificially preserved. But this one? It sits perfectly in the middle, authentic, untouched, and visually stunning. Now, let's go deeper into its composition. Like other wheat pennies, it is primarily copper, a metal that evolves beautifully over time. And what you're seeing on this coin, those brown tones, those subtle dot patterns, is the natural reaction of copper with decades of exposure. But here's the key. The pattern is even. The surface is stable. The look is clean, yet aged. This kind of balance is extremely rare, and that's exactly why collectors chase coins like this with intensity. Because it's not just about owning a coin. It's about owning something that feels complete. Now, let's talk about rarity, and this is where the pressure builds. Yes, 1937 saw large minting numbers. But how many of those coins survived in extra fine condition, with natural toning, without being cleaned or damaged? Very few. Extremely few. Because over time, most coins were either overused, altered, or simply lost. But this one? It held its ground. It kept its detail. It preserved its identity. And today, it stands as something far more powerful than a simple penny. It stands as a collector's dream. Now this is the moment, the final reveal. The current market value of this exact coin, in the condition described, $1,550,000. Yes, this is real. This is not just a collectible. This is a high-level treasure, a coin that carries both history and serious financial weight. And here's what makes it even more exciting. This value is not standing still. It is rising. Because coins like this are being absorbed into private collections, disappearing from the market, becoming harder and harder to find. And when something becomes harder to find, its power increases, its demand grows, its value climbs. So if you ever come across a 1937 wheat penny without a mint mark, don't ignore it. Don't underestimate it. Take your time. Study its condition, its toning, its details. Because what you might be holding is not just a piece of the past. It is a gateway to something much bigger. Protect it. Never clean it. Preserve it exactly as it is, because its natural state is what makes it extraordinary. And now, you've seen all five. 5 coins, 5 stories, 5 hidden treasures that most people would never recognize. So next time you see a penny, don't look away. Look closer, because you never know when history and opportunity are sitting right in the palm of your hand. And remember, this is Eagle Coins, bringing you fresh updates every single day, uncovering the hidden value of coins that the world overlooks. If this video opened your eyes, make sure you stay connected, because the next discovery might be even bigger.